Hello and welcome to this week's Live Thursday game. We are doing something a little bit different from the normal fare. We're doing a very high level operational World War II game, Case Yellow, which is the German invasion of France in 1940. So I am umpiring for the Allies, at least for now, and I'm here with French General de l'Armée Blanchard, who's commanding the southern wing of this whole thing. What are your orders?
For now, I would like to order each of the armies to dig in on their positions. The cavalry corps and the of the first of first army and second army will stay mobile and respond to any attack from panzers on their respective axes. That will be all.
Okay, I see First Armies. Who's your other cavalry corps? Oh, I see it.
Second army south, way down
Yep,
south.
I found it. Okay, got it. Thank you. All right, General Girard.
Good day. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. All right. It is May 10th. Your army's covering the far left flank of the line. What are your orders?
We are going to move the first corps um, into position in the town of St. Nicholas.
Okay.
We're going to move the 16th Corps into a reserve position southwest of St. Nicholas near Lokeren.
Okay.
And direct report can move slightly forward to occupy the crossroads to its immediate south.
Got it.
The Corps will operate defensively. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, General Gamelin.
Yes, sir.
I guess you're in Montdidier with the armored reserve. What are your orders?
So my orders are that the Armored Reserve is going to move northeast by rail line, if possible, to redeploy to the area of Valenciennes. I'm sure I'm butchering that name if anyone hears me say that in French.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
Yep. And the air wing is to harass the 11th Corps and 16th Corps around Antwerp. And
Hold on. Let
Louvain
me find it real
in
fast. Hold on. 11th Corps around Antwerp. I'm going to learn European geography really good by tonight. Wait, your 11th Corps or the German 11th Corps?
the German 11th Corps.
I found it. Okay.
Yep. And the 16th Corps to their northwest, closer to Antwerp, if that's possible. If they can only target one, they're to give priority to the 16th Corps.
Okay. Yeah, they're very spread apart, so just one.
Okay, then yeah, give priority to attacking the armor of 16th Corps around the area of Antwerp.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, King Leopold, you and your Belgians are north of Brussels. What are your orders?
We will just hold firm for now.
Okay. All right, Lord Gort, your British Expeditionary Force is located in and around Brussels with, at least one German corps is opposite you in Louvain. What are your orders?
Okay, so orders for the First Corps: advance and engage the German 11th Corps that is at Louvain. The Second Corps is to follow the road southeast from there, or actually east southeast from the current position. Objective to reach La Culotte or Hill 344, and then the Third Corps is to advance on Wavre.
Okay.
The direct reporting corps will remain with me at Brussels.
Got it. All right, thank you. All right, let's see. I got a little bit of combat I can do already. I should make that blue.
Antwerp, where is that? AJ, something you know my last orders.
No worries. I'm just listening in because I'm waiting.
Right, so you should like just kind of west of Anvers, Antwerp.
Yes, and we're just going to be. What were my options for what their missions can be again?
Well, anything you could do with fighters or bombers, so they could be on an intercept mission, or seeking out other fighters. They could be seeking out enemy bombers. They could be on a bombing mission.
Yeah, I want them to bomb the just enemy ground forces there.
Okay. You have two more.
And yeah, and then I want the other two to go into the center around Charleroi.
Charleroi, where is that? Yeah.
It's just west
I
of
see it.
Kluge. Okay, yeah. One of them is going to just be doing air superiority, and the other one is going to be bombing enemy ground forces.
All right, sounds good to me.
Try to avoid any infrastructure. We're not bombing roads or anything.
Of course. What do you think we are? War criminals?
Yeah, no, we want to use those roads.
All right. All right. Is that it?
Yeah, that's all I got control over. I assume since I'm like a staffer here that I should just stay in the back the whole time. Yeah.
I mean, you can move around if you want, but I mean, I don't think it really matters in the grand scheme of things if you move around or not.
Okay.
If you take direct command of some units, you would see what they see, but otherwise you're probably not going to see much.
Yeah, I want to move up towards where Kluge is now and to establish my command post just in case Runestedt needs me to take like a load off because he has a lot of stuff to control.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Right,
I'm not going to take anything yet. I'm just going to give him the option about being closer.
Unfortunately, there is no city in the area worthy of your staff's office, but you could set up in a little like farmhouse.
Yeah, well, Charleroi is going to be usable soon.
All right, I'll see you next turn.
See it.
All right, what was the Allied air mission here in Devon 2?
It's attacking that 16th Corps. So
Okay.
who's attacking where? Are these all attacking?
These guys were all sent on orders to like attack downwards. I'm not sure on what the range for their attacks would be once they're in contact.
I think
These guys were kind of a stretch. They were like, it was like 7 to get here because it was
okay.
kind of off.
I'll do the 3 on with the air.
Yeah.
Who else do you want to do? You do combat. I'll do that.
So
You do combat in the south, I guess.
okay. Man, some of the Allied and Germans look so similar. It's kind of hard telling them apart.
Yeah, it is.
What is the range before units will be like in contact to like combat?
So
each other?
where were they starting?
They were like starting over here.
Okay, well then it would be major
Somewhere here.
contact. Basically, if they're
Mhm.
that's like 3 miles away, so they would see each other but not have a major fight yet. But these two, I'd
And I
say,
saw these
are
guys
fighting.
interrupted their fortification building.
Yeah, they did, and these are fighting for sure.
All right. I think I can handle the combat down here.
Okay, I'll do it.
Can I copy that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
There we go.
So
Oh, that was a 9 even before looking at all the modifiers. So that's
2, 4, 6.
and how far do they fall back with the pushback? Like 5 miles? 10
Yeah,
miles?
5 to 10 miles, kind of judgment call on your side.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be like about 6.5 miles because they were like interrupted while they were not ready to fight. I guess that's my justification at least. All right, I think that's everything. Am I missing anything down here?
I'm trying to maybe I should make that big.
When I see there's no option for like in the resolving with the die for like the attacker today take more disruption and
Yeah,
fail on the attack.
it's not a great. Yeah.
Oh, over here. One more. All right, that's 5 plus 4. I forget. Do defenders also subtract their attack strength?
No, it's you're rolling for the position of the defender.
So, all right, that's a 5 plus a 4 plus a 1 from the German air mission here. So that's like a 10.
That everything?
Oh, wait, maybe you could do like different colors to show like where the front line changes.
Well, I'm doing blue for allied push, and then a slightly smaller red for the German. Okay, I think we're good. So screenshots. It is now May 11th.
Oops. Just a second.
Yep, no worries.
Hello. Hello?
All right, General Blanchard. Lots of activity and news from the front. So, hopefully you can see your screen shot. Most elements of First Army are digging in, although your cavalry corps in Charleroi?
Charleroi, yes.
Charleroi has been attacked by your artillery, or your armor has been attacked by German armor and has been pushed out of the city. There's a heavy German push coming from southeast of Charleroi. Your 9th Army, Krapp reports that there's a heavy German armored push through the Ardennes forest. His 2nd Corps is under heavy attack in the middle of the Ardennes forest, and Hunziker's 2nd Army is holding, but says there's increased activity on his front as well.
Okay, 2nd Corps gonna attack. Alright. And increase activity on the south.
What are your orders?
Alright. Did you want the orders now?
If you need time, I can come back, but yeah, generally I like them.
I just need a tiny bit of time, yeah.
Sure, I'll come back. Alright, General Girard. Lots of urgent reports coming from the front from your direct reports, your direct divisions. They're under heavy attack from German Armor Corps as well as 2 Infantry Corps. They've been pushed back almost into Nicolas. You also under German air assaults throughout the day. Your armored units have moved back as ordered, and that's about it.
Ouch. Thank you. Looking for orders right away.
If you're ready.
No, I could probably use a minute or two.
Okay, I'll come back.
Thank you.
All right, General Gamlin, the Army Reserve was able to move up to Valenciennes. Then you with it.
Okay.
That's all I got for you. What are your orders?
We're going to remain here. Is there any intelligence you can give me about the front line currently?
That will have to come from your commanders in the planning channel.
Okay. So the air wing is to continue harassing the 16th Corps, the German 16th Corps around Antwerp.
Okay.
Other than that, no other orders for the day.
Yeah, I guess your air wing would report a successful mission in taking out several German tanks. And that they witnessed them in an assault heading west out of Antwerp.
Okay, that works for me then.
Okay. King Leopold, all's pretty quiet on your front, although you're hearing lots of sounds of artillery and combat to the north, not far away. There's German and Allied planes flying overhead, but your front's quiet. Any orders?
Yes, actually. I will move the 1st Corps up the road to Antwerp's intersection area. Basically where the 16th Corps, the German 16th Corps, used to be generally. And I will have the 3rd Corps move up north just to the Milanese crossroads.
Okay.
And I will shift the cavalry corps just south of St. Nicholas.
All right, Lord Gort.
Hello.
Good news coming from the front. Your first corps reports they seem to have caught the Germans by surprise and have kicked them out of Louvain and have them on the run heading east. Your second and third corps report. Second corps is reaching the outskirts of Le Culotte without opposition or resistance. And similar story from Third Corps, no resistance. They are in Wav. How do you say that? What waiver?
Oh, I was just calling it Wavra,
Yeah, whatever it is.
but whatever. Yeah, I get what you're getting at.
Okay, you ready for orders?
Okay. First Corps, continue to hold Louvain for now. Second Corps, take Hill 344, and then hold that crossroads, fortify if need be. Third Corps, I want them to advance south with the aim of probing the enemy at Jean Bleu if they are there.
Okay.
And then the direct reporting, I'd like them to begin fortifying at Brussels.
In Brussels, okay. You got it. Okay, thank you. Alright, I'm ready for your orders now.
Alright, then what we're gonna do. Okay, so I'm gonna start from top to bottom.
Okay.
First army, what they're gonna do is that the Belgians, the 7th Corps from the Belgians, and the 3rd Corps will swing south to go into Charleroi. The Cavalry Corps will begin retreating towards Maubeuge, which is like if you follow the Sambre River, you're gonna get there. It's about at the border between Belgium and France.
Cavalry Corps is going to where?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
To
Maubeuge. Okay.
Maubeuge. Yeah, through Mons and then south.
Okay.
That's for First Army. 9th Army, those guys were like kind of ducked on. Oh boy. If they can, I would like 2nd Corps to retreat towards Chimay. But if they're probably still gonna get punched to us. Okay, no, they're gonna get 2nd Corps is gonna try to hold best they can. They're probably gonna get destroyed, but the best they can. 41st Corps is gonna swing from the south into the flank of the Panzers north.
Okay.
11th Corps is going to try to relink up with 2nd Corps. That's for 9th Army. 2nd Army. That's the one I'm a bit concerned about. 2nd Army. 2nd Army is going to send their Cav Corps towards 41st Corps, and they're going to aid them in the attack. The infantry divisions will keep fortifying their position.
Okay, got it.
That's for 2nd Army.
Is that everyone?
That should be everyone.
Alright. Alright, I'm ready for your orders, Gerard.
Okie doke. Oops. Can 6th Corps attack today?
6th Corps. You mean 16th Corps?
Sorry, 16th Corps. I apologize.
Yeah, they're
16th Corps in
motorized.
reserve.
They can move quickly.
All right, I'd like them to contact the 26th SS Corps,
Okay.
and that's all.
Got it. Okay. more umpires. I somehow let it slip. We needed at least one more. That's all right.
No
we got
changes to the German air. I was gonna say, oh, you might want to spawn on like the fire effect that you had for the fires on the boats that one time, and we can like place them where the bomb is happening.
do that.
I think that'd be a pretty cool effect for the screenshots.
Oh, sorry. Let me make it so you can grab it. Don't want to over encumber it, but okay. All right, you do combat in the south. Why don't you do it south of? Let's see, where does it make sense?
I can handle the combat going around in
Yeah. why don't
the city here too.
yeah,
But
do south of that white line. I'll
Okay.
do north.
All right, so the BEF and the 6th Army getting to a fight here.
They are. Yep. BEF
Okay.
is attacking.
And so this one is here at 7 broken. What happens when they reach 10? I need to like reach maximum
So
damage.
when they get to 9, they're either overrun or dissolved, but basically cannot fight anymore.
Mhm.
Like if it's panzers going after them, they're probably just overrun and mostly captured. If it's infantry, they'll
What were
probably.
the French orders over here with Corel or Corap?
So let's see. 9th is holding. 41st is moving up to support 9th. So it's kind of they're just kind of
Oh,
together.
these because of the explicit orders to attack. I just wondered like who would attack first. Okay,
Oh, I mean the
I'll just
French.
do it 1-on-1 for both of them
The
since it's
French
kind
are
of
on
an
the
even front line.
defensive there, but yeah. That's 10 anyway.
Would you say the force where it is would make a good defensive position, or is that only for forts?
The
Like here's kind of in like
Yeah, I think woods
foresty
would
terrain.
help defensively. So maybe -1 or 2 for that. If they're in a city, I think -1 or 2 for those as well.
Mhm.
If they're behind a major river, probably -1 or 2 defensive bonus for that.
And so fortification that'd be like a -4.
Yeah, it's well if they're just barely dug in for a day, I'd do -2 for that.
Okay.
Let me know when you're done moving stuff and all.
I think I'm just about done. Oh, okay. The fourth car actually did make contact up here. I couldn't tell because of the color. Okay.
Is that as far as the 2 Panzer Corps are going?
Where?
The right here.
They started like over here. Oh, I just forgot to. Oh, so they made contact over here, and then you moved the French away. So I wasn't sure how that would work out.
Yeah,
If they're moving away, would these guys like?
they would chase them. So they were moving.
Oh, wait, no, okay. This guy was here. This guy attacked him, but they're trying to just head north. They were just getting this guy out of the way here.
Okay, so
Um,
I mean they'd move a good bit after defeating them
Okay.
that day.
these guys were kind of at the edge of their move, so we'll barely move them up after the attack here. The Fourth Army hands are here. So
Comes a 6.
6. Okay, so yeah, just this guy just gets bumped up one more time after retreating. All right, I think that is everything there now.
All right. So now it is May 12th. We're doing 20-minute turns. Oh well, here's what it is. Should have gotten another umpire. Gambling. All right, I'm gonna go get orders. All right, General Blanchard.
Oui.
All right, so news from the fronts of all your armies continues to be mixed, mixed to poor. Starting in the south, Hunsiger's Second Army says he's come under heavy attack all along the front from at least 4 German corps. his cavalry corps was unable to get to the north as they got intercepted by a German corps and pushed back. In the middle, your Ninth Army reports that they've come under heavy attack and that the 11th Corps has fled to Beaumont or thereabout and has taken heavy casualties. Is not in great shape.
Corps. Boom. All right.
Your First Army, located around Charleroi, is also under heavy attack. They note Panzer Corps moving north towards them from the south. So there's 3 Panzer Corps in the region, as well as 3 to 4 infantry corps. Your fifth corps has been pushed back with heavy casualties into Charleroi itself, where also your 3rd corps is. You're also under heavy bombardment and air assaults from the German Air Force. They seem to be concentrated on your First Army. The news in the north, so your 4th Corps and 3rd Corps have moved south as ordered, or are moving south. The northern front seems to be quiet, and the British seem to be pushing eastward, in fact. So that's the status of things. Do you need time for orders?
Yes, please, because I am the biggest army.
Yeah, you do. No worries. Alright, General Girard. The Germans continue their heavy attack, and your direct reports are taking the brunt of it, highest amount of casualties. They're getting pushed back into the town. The good news is the Belgians are supporting you from the south, and that slowed their advance somewhat. 16th Corps has moved up and is engaging. 1st Corps is holding in St. Nicholas, but you are outnumbered, or at least you were till the Belgians arrived, but the front's starting to stabilize at least a little bit. You are taking German air missions against you, bombing 1st Corps and your direct reports.
Ouch. Okie doke. Could be worse, right?
Could be.
Do these units recover in any meaningful way? Say, if I was to take direct report off the line, will their condition?
If you can send them to somewhere safe in the rear, they will recover.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pull them off the front then. Let them take up a reserve position a little bit to the southeast of their position, and they can stand by in reserve.
Okay. Rest hold.
The rest are going to continue to hold. Yep.
Okay, got it. Thank you. All right, General Gamelin, you have remained in Valenciennes with the reserve. Your Air Force reports continued success as it's bombarding the German 16th Tank Armored Corps. They report the Armored Corps has pushed further west. They're about 7 miles, generally 7 miles west of Antwerp. That's about it.
Okay. So, 7 miles west of Antwerp. How many grid squares is that roughly?
Well, I changed my grids to where 1 is a mile, but I don't think it was that on the TTS I shared. I don't know.
Okay.
If you look at the squares on the map itself, the bottom part of a square is about 6 miles. It's 10 kilometers.
Okay. So the armored reserve, then we're gonna move that to it's gonna be direct east to Maubeuge along the Sambre Canal to begin taking up defensive positions.
Got it.
The air forces are to begin scouring the roads, especially between and the open ground between Charleroi and Marienborg. They're like direct north. Mariborg is direct south where the woods begin. They're to begin directing their efforts there to scour the roads, any open ground for any armored targets of opportunity.
Okay.
And that's all I have for this turn.
Okay, thank you. King Leopold, your first corps and armored corps move up, and they do support the French 7th Army as they attack the German southern flank. They got an armored corps there, which you are battling. Other than that, the 3rd Corps moves east and occupies Malines, and that's about it.
Splendid. I will advance the line entirely and move Second Corps to take Antwerp, the city of Antwerp.
Okay.
And have the First Corps and cavalry apply coordinated pressure on that 16th Corps. Get that armor going.
All right. Thank you. Lord Gort.
Hello.
Generally good news from your front. The 3rd Corps has moved southeast and found a German corps occupying Gembloux. They are battling on the northwest outskirts of that city. 1st Corps battled elements of the German 11th Corps again outside Louvain and sent them packing to the northeast. And then 2nd Corps occupies Hill 344.
Okay. Just question: did the direct reporting they just take disruption from fortifying?
Yeah, they worked hard to fortify.
Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't get hit by bombers or whatever.
Yeah. No.
And I had a question: is there any penalty or benefit to me moving or not moving like towards the front
No.
for this?
No.
Okay. Since I see what my units see, basically.
Yep. It doesn't matter where you are.
Yep. So orders 1st Corps to hold and rest up for now. 2nd Corps is to advance south-southeast and hit Gembloux from the northeast.
Okay.
The direct reporting corps is to leave the fortifications intact, but move to replace the 2nd Corps at Les Culots. And then 3rd Corps is to continue pressing the 27th at Gembloux.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have historically the unexpected push came through the Ardennes woods where they thought tanks couldn't get through. So that's occurring. I don't know if it's ahead or behind historically. Interesting thing is the British on the aggressive push over here. We'll see how well my rules simulate things. Everyone might run out of steam pretty quickly. Or too quickly. We'll see.
All right. And you still have the 2nd Army to give orders to, and the 4th. But I assume kind of just wanting to keep moving up northwest to try
The
and
second army, I'm just going to continue to chastise the second army. Weiss is just not making good enough progress. He just he should have been more prepared to move out. And then what do I still have? The 8th Corps, I guess, is the last thing.
Yeah.
And then the 8th Corps, I want to move basically just towards the 6th Army unit there. That's at Gemblo or whatever that is. And I'll wait to give them orders when they reach that crossroads kind of the next day. I believe that's everything.
Okay, sounds good to me.
All right. Thank you.
All right. I'll see you next day, sir.
Yes, sir.
Have an incredibly successful bombing campaign across both the Northern Front and the Charleroi battle.
Same missions.
Okay.
Bombing around Saint Nicola, one air support, one bombing around Charleroi, and we're gonna continue with that for at least today.
All right. I'll come back next turn, sir. Let me know if you have any questions.
I'm good. I think we're good. Thank you.
Yeah, I know the orders for Runestedt can take a while because he likes to micromanage and he has half the front to micromanage.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, we'll do combat in the north. You got
I
this.
feel a bit bad for the German CIC. Doesn't
Fine.
really have much to do.
Well, hopefully he's. I mean, it wouldn't be orders to you, but in the direction he's given in the planning channel should.
Things are really hitting up at the Charleroi here. Also, when infantry attacks tanks, I feel like there should be some kind of penalty there, but I can't find anything like relating to the combat like ability
Well,
of the defending unit.
Yeah.
Do you want to add that as a rule? Like, like if infantry attacks armor, give them like a -2 or a -4 or something.
Yeah, you can do it that way.
Well, because I mean, like, that seems like a bit more realistic to me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what happens if like a unit's kind of cut off by like the tank here? Who's helping on like the attacks?
If they're completely cut off and unable to break out, they'd just be captured.
Would you say that's the case here at Charleroi?
Okay. Probably, yeah.
Okay,
Looks like
so I'll
we're
just
getting
move this up
surrounded.
to the max. Surrendered. All right. The 11th Corps over here for the French just reached the max, like maximum damage they could take. Sorry, what did you say happened again?
So in that case, just move them back, and then they can't fight anymore. I'll let them know.
Right. Yeah, the Panthers down here are really doing some work, man. They keep rolling really well, and then of course they have really high bonuses to attack.
Maybe too high, but like I said, this is partially a playtest on the rules.
And I know that you like to have like the simple, the rules, like not too many. Which, I think is really good for like the more casual play like this.
Yeah.
But maybe you could add like more terrain modifiers for like specifically tanks,
Yeah,
because I know that like forest and urban environments should be really hard for them to fight in.
I think you're right.
Is there a hotkey to like move up the dice by one? Because I saw you were able to like kind of move it over to the right value.
If you type the number, it'll switch to that. I don't know if you can move it up. Let's see. No. So if it's like on 6 and you type 7, it'll switch to 7. So that's
Takes a minute though for it to catch up.
yeah, there's a little bit of a delay to it. I think I finished.
Oh yeah, let me know like if the French are attacking the north and the south.
No, they're on the defense, so wherever they
Okay.
run into units, that's where.
I think that's everything. You took care of the combat like up here, right?
Yeah, I did.
These guys were like ordered to like march up until contact, so I mean they.
Yeah, I rolled
I don't know
for a fight.
What were the British planes doing here? Just bombing?
They were targeting the armor, so they should have given like a +1 to whatever armor fight there was against the Germans.
Or like a -1 in that case.
Yeah.
Even so, I mean, like after all the buffs were added up, it was like +11 before any of the dice rolls. So I mean, I don't think that, unfortunately, you would have done much for
Yeah,
them.
that's fine.
All right.
I think we're
Ready
good.
for screenshots?
Screenshots. Yep, it's exactly 20 minutes. Oh shoot, I forgot to get Blanchard's orders.
All right, and it's the 13th then.
Blanchard, I am so sorry. I forgot to come back for orders last time.
It's fine.
Your
It's
HQ got
just
bombed and you couldn't give them.
I was about to leave too. Shit is crazy. I don't know what to do now. I'm just gonna give orders right now at this point because like it's the only thing I can really do. But it's like it's a whole breakthrough here. It's oh no.
So your first army, third and fifth corps are essentially surrounded in Charleroi and have surrendered, or are surrendering. The fourth corps and seventh corps are still in good condition to the north. Your 11th Corps and 9th Army are essentially broken and fleeing to the rear. They're not combat effective they need time to rest and recover. Your 2nd Corps and 41st Corps are holding in the woods of 9th Army, but they report being outnumbered. Your 2nd Army in the south is holding for the most part. Yeah, the main bad news is First Army up near your position.
Um, okay. Here's what we're gonna do because we're gonna okay. The rest of First Army of what's left is going to head towards with me in tow. We're going to head towards Mons.
Okay.
Is there even a path there? They're just gonna. I would like the cavalry corps to head to La Louvière to cut off any panzers that are trying to also attack there, and basically link up with us.
Sorry, say where they go. La Bouvier. Okay, I got it.
That Louvière, it's between Mons and Charleroi.
I see it.
Yeah, basically block the road there so we don't get cut off. Well, between there from the panzers. And yeah, so that's what the First Army is doing. Ninth Army in the woods. Second Corps will begin heading to Fourmi, which is west.
Okay.
And the Cavalry Corps from Second Army will help the retreat of 41st Corps.
Okay, got it.
Down south, Utzinger is to generally fall back towards the Sambre. That means to say that 18th Corps is going to start heading west towards Laon. And 10th Corps is going to head west towards Vervins. It's south of Irson.
Okay. Alright.
That should be everyone, yeah.
Thank you. Alright, General Gerard. So, yeah, your direct reports are falling back. What just happened? Oh, okay, sorry. 16th and 1st Corps are holding, but taking heavy casualties. The Belgians are on your right flank and hitting the German southern flank and helping tremendously. You're still a target of German air missions, and yeah, and you're going. You can tell it's the. I think you know this. It's the elite SS, so highly trained, highly experienced, motivated German troops.
I was wondering if that's what was going on.
Yep. Your orders?
No new orders.
Okay.
Defend your positions.
All right, General Gamlin, the front is getting dangerously close, so you can hear the sounds of battle to the east now, and there's news of a Panzer Corps in Beaumont. Um, you can see elements of 9th Army's 11th Corps in major disorder streaming through the streets, coming through even Maubeuge, where you are now. Heavy fighting in Charleroi, according to what you hear and rumors. Your own air missions say they've lots of German armor activity in the Ardennes forest south of Charleroi, and they've done what they can, but a lot of enemy presence in that area, and that's it.
Okay. Am I allowed to share screenshots in the planning channel, or can
No,
I send that as a
I'd rather
dispatch?
keep it as text.
Okay. Okay. So I submitted what I wanted for the new defensive line. The armored reserve is going to remain here.
Oh,
Continue trying to.
let me clarify. If you draw it from the TTS map, like not my screenshot to you, but just the general TTS map, and like draw lines and whatever, that's fine.
Okay. So the armored reserve is going to remain where they are. Continue digging in, making defensive preparations to meet the enemy onslaught, I guess.
Okay.
The Air Corps, are there still a lot of German close air support missions in this area?
Yep.
Are my airplanes getting intercepted as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Air Corps then, we're going to send them somewhere useful. They're going to focus around St. Nicholas area to support Leopold's counteroffensive to cut off the German advance there. But otherwise, the Armored Reserve is just going to dig in, fight, if possible, local commanders there to counterattack, all that stuff. But that's my orders. And if I can personally attempt to rally what units I can, that would be much appreciated.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. All right, King Leopold III. So your generally good news. So Second Corps has nearly reached Antwerp. Unopposed. Apparently, the Germans didn't expect you to come in behind them. And your Cavalry Corps and First Corps are doing pretty good damage against the German Armored Corps on their southern flank. What are your orders?
Splendid. I will continue to have the cavalry and first corps pin down the 16th corps, and I will move the second corps to the rear of the enemy forces and cut off their retreat and or pressure them into surrender. I will advance the third corps into Antwerp instead of the second corps.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Lord Gort. Less good news this turn. Your armies come under heavy German counterattack from the southeast. Both second and third corps are losing ground and falling back as they're outnumbered. Yep.
Okay. So starting with the direct reporting corps, they will fall back and assume their original position at Brussels behind the fortifications. Orders for Third Corps fall back and do the same behind the fortifications left over by the French to their northwest. Second Corps is to fall back west to the Hill 368 marker to the southeast of Brussels. And the First Corps is to, hold on, let me read this. Okay. First Corps to fall back and Just a hill 328 to their direct west, and basically defend that side of the river rather than in Louvain.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I hadn't accounted for the advanced 12th Army unit that had managed to get into the attack on Charleroi. I want them to try to follow the Panzers to that highway that runs northeast to southwest.
So basically, the same direction the rest of the infantry was moving. Just kind of wrapping west around the fortified units.
Yeah, I guess that one would be the priority to go like the furthest west, I guess, kind of aiming more for that highway, but yes.
Right. And I assume, yeah, second army just keep moving up.
Yes. And I continue to chastise Weiss for his incompetence and inability to properly deploy his units quickly.
Well, he's starting to get a bit fed up. He sends back a response to let him know when they breed him in with longer legs. I'll see you tomorrow, sir, with more reports. Right,
Excellent. Thank you so much. James.
Oh, hey. I was just hanging out.
He's been bombed out. 2 entire French corps surrendered to you and your men. What are your orders?
Perfect. Can I put the air wings into bombing infrastructure? Is that a mission?
James?
I don't know. I don't remember what
you
he said.
can do that.
Yeah. So I would like to. Okay, I would want the one I have allotted to the north is going to fly south of Antwerp and bomb Belgium troops there. Belgium troops.
Mhm.
I want one of the air wings to go to. It's like southwest of Brussels. It's the junction at Hal, Hal.
Sorry,
To
where?
bomb. That's southwest of Brussels or Bruxelles. It's
Mhm.
called Hal. It's like a road junction.
Help, yep, I see it. Right. So one of the
Bo-
guys from Charleroi is gonna move up there to bomb like the
yeah,
junction there.
yeah, bomb bridges, roads, whatever's there.
Mhm.
And then the other one from Charleroi is going to go to Nivelles, which is just southeast of Hal, and bomb the road junction there.
Mhm.
Today is no road day.
All right. The freedom of the peasants to move around is an insult to you. I understand.
Yeah. Speaking of moving around, I would like to move into Charleroi whenever it's cleared of enemies.
Oh, the fires are still smoldering in some of the more recently bombed sections of the city, but you can definitely set up in a surviving
Yeah.
building somewhere.
I'm sure there's a hotel or something.
All right, that sounds good to me. I'll
Thank
see you
you.
next turn. Good luck, sir.
See you next turn.
Forgot you'd moved here.
Wait, so the armor also moves a bit fast, I want to say, because I mean, like they made a breakthrough here, and they were able to move 20 here, and like another like 30 here, and that's only half the maximum movement. Like they could be in Paris right now if they wanted to be.
Yeah.
Um,
Probably too fast.
so I think that definitely needs a bit of tweaking.
I will take all your advice once this is over.
Of course, I have no idea what it takes to make a game system. I'm just like
That's,
my initial reaction to how fast the armor can move is that like they made a breakthrough here, and now the game is basically one for them because they're going to be cutting
yeah.
off.
But I think I mean I think they would if they were unopposed. I mean they would move 30, 40 miles a day up the road and yeah. I mean it's.
But yeah, 30 to 40, I can understand what it says 100 miles per day in the document.
Yeah. Well, they basically move till they run into opposition again. All right, am I doing? You're doing south.
Yeah, I can do the south. I just wanted to talk to you before I started. You already handled like up here, right?
I did everywhere up to. I did these ones, yeah. So you
Okay.
you got the rest.
Right. Okay, that's it. Right, and then okay, down here.
How did they get up there if there's the corps blocking the main roads, the 7th Corps and the 4th Corps?
These guys were pushed back. They retreated, and these guys.
Okay.
So no, the tanks came up through here, and then up through here,
Okay.
and these guys retreated like over the course of the battle here.
Do this then. They're kind of
All right, and then
on their own.
okay,
anyway.
one more combat team over here. All right, I think that's it.
Did you combat for this over here already?
Oh, the cavalry corps. Okay, the cavalry corps moved up there. I didn't see that. Sorry. Again, they look like when I zoomed out, they looked like the same
Yeah.
side. All right, plus 4. It's gonna be 8. I mean, would you say this is a urban environment over here?
Yeah.
There are a couple scat. Okay, so -2. Man, this is gonna be such a chaotic screenshot. I wouldn't say that these French guys captured anything. In fact, I would say that like if anything, the 7th and the 4th Corps would now be the ones that were like in enemy territory, because the Panthers have moved up through here and these guys are retreating into it. Right? I wouldn't say like retreating it like took control of it again.
Yeah. So they're going. It'll be more like this.
Very dangerous situation for the entire British Expeditionary Force here.
Yeah.
They're not even going to get a chance at Dunkirk.
They got a little bit aggressive. All right.
All right.
Now it's May 14th. Man, we're like 20 minutes on the dot.
Screenshots are so annoying for the guy in the south now that he's getting so spread out.
So, but yeah.
I'm going to start leaving some of the stuff from the west behind now that he's pushing up just to fit space in the screenshot.
right, General Blanchard. So
Hi.
you have retreated with First Army's armored corps back to Mons, but a German Panzer Corps is aggressively pursuing you, and you're now fighting outside Mons. You've lost contact with both First or Fourth Corps and Seventh Corps of the First Army. Complete contact lost. Also, you've not heard from Third or Fifth Corps of First Army. To the south, Ninth Corps says they are falling back. The Second Army Cavalry Armored is helping support their defense, but movement is slow through the woods, and they are getting pressed on all sides. Second Army says they're also falling back, but they're coming under. The Germans are pushing hard as they fall back to the west as ordered.
All right. Well, I'll give my orders right now if you don't mind,
Yeah.
because I don't trust it coming back.
Okay.
Ninth Army. We're gonna keep going with the retreat. I would like it if Second Corps could start heading off for me as soon as possible. But of course, it's the forest. It happens. Meanwhile, the Cavalry Corps and the 41st Corps will do their best to withdraw in order. Second Army, keep going west. You got it. Contact has been lost with the rest of First Army besides my tank, is what you're saying, right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna stick with the tank, and we are going to. I can't last stand. Nah, no way I'm last standing. I'm just gonna. You know what? Hold on. Let me just check this. Yeah, we're gonna try to go down to Maubeuge, where the armored reserve is.
Okay. With your armor?
Yep, I'm going with my armored.
Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and co-locate you with Gamlin.
Yes.
Alright,
Hi.
General Gamlin, Blanchard's joining you today, but so your armored reserve remains in position. Your Air Force reports the Belgians are surrounding Antwerp and has a German armored corps pinned inside. They've been able to support them with air missions. There are German air fighters in the area, somewhat limiting their ability to fight, but that's about it.
Okay. So the air wing is to continue assisting the efforts around Antwerp.
Okay.
Has the armored reserve been engaged on the front line yet, or have they just taken some hits from air assaults?
They're just tired from building the defenses there, but they're otherwise unengaged.
Gotcha. So the armored reserve is going to continue holding its position. The 11th Corps, have them also hold position and continue resting for a day, and then we'll see. Seems like the enemy's moving to our north. Blanchard, if you could keep that cavalry corps engaged with the 19th Panther Corps, that would.
Yeah, I'm about to head down to Maubeuge, actually.
Okay. Yeah, keep the cavalry corps engaged. See what they can do to pin up the advance there. But if they move past us, then we'll do a counterattack.
Yeah.
How's okay? I'll let you give orders, and then we can discuss the
Oh, I
situation.
already gave my
I already
orders.
got his orders, so I'll go on. Thank you. All right, General Gerard. Generally, good news today. The Germans have fallen back, and so it's a bit quiet. Your men are surprisingly able to rest. You hear lots of sounds of fighting further east, where the Belgians are, but your own army has a blessed day of rest. Thank goodness.
That's great. I'm going to order my direct report infantry corps to take up the defense of St. Nicholas,
Okay.
and I'm going to take my mechanized units towards Alost, which is south of our position, and it's west of Brussels.
Okay. I found it.
And if we find ourselves in range to counterattack any forces that might be attacking Brussels, we'll do so.
Okay. Got it. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, King Leopold. Your Belgian soldiers are ecstatic as they continue to push the enemy back. They're starting to get into Antwerp proper, reclaiming some of their homeland. And the German armored divisions, or sorry, corps is getting heavily beat up. Um, yeah, you've got the SS troops are pulling back in defense, and that's about it.
I will send immediate orders for Second Corps to head north and deny their retreat east,
Okay.
and have the Cavalry Corps pin the Fourth Corps in place. The 16th Corps still fighting capable, or not really?
Our 16th Corps. You don't have
Enemy armor.
Oh, they're yes, but they're in bad shape.
Okay. I'll have the Third Corps follow behind the second on denying the enemy retreat, and keep the First Corps to deal with the 16th.
Okay, got it. Thank you. All right, Lord Gort. Bad news all around. So second and third. Okay, the good news: Third Corps is holding at the defenses, at least. Second Corps is not holding and continually falling back. First Corps has fallen back as ordered, but isn't under attack in the northern front. The really bad news is you were surprised by two Panzer Corps arriving from the south and attacking Brussels directly. So your direct reporting force are fighting in the streets, doing their best, but they've already lost half the city. Um, and your infantry corps to the east are at risk of being cut off entirely if the direct reporting corps cannot hold the city.
All right. Question: if my first corps heads back to Brussels, the Panzers won't get they're not entrenched, are they?
The Panzers?
Yeah. So like my fortifications, they won't get the benefit of those. I'm assuming.
No.
All right. So yeah, direct reporting force will continue fighting for Brussels. The first corps will move to reinforce them.
Okay.
Second corps will continue falling back, preferably to the west.
Okay.
And then third corps. Yeah, I guess they'll continue holding their position for now. See how well those entrenchments go.
All right. You got it.
Thank you.
Next turn.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I just finished up here, James.
Okay.
All right. Field Marshal General, and what are your orders?
I would like to send an air wing to Wavre, which is just southeast of Brussels.
Wavre, Wavre.
Yeah, just southeast of Brussels.
All right. And what are they doing?
They're going to close air support for 9th Army's attack there.
Mhm.
I would like to send another air group to Brussels itself to support the panzers that we have in the city. So close air support the panzers in the city.
Mm.
And I would like to send the third air group also to Brussels on air superiority.
Okay. Sounds good to me, sir.
Sounds good to me. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I drew an arrow for you just to let you know that like the Panzers are trying to smash through and form up the front line behind
Yeah.
the Belgian army there.
I don't think they'll break through.
Huh?
I don't think they'll break through. They have a lot of reinforcements.
Oh yeah, I'm just just in case, so you know like what they're trying to do in case of victory.
Yeah, no worries.
Right, any French orders in the south, or are they still just defending?
Defending. I mean, they're generally just falling back as fast as they can, but it's moving pretty slow through the woods and off roads, so
Mhm.
you can see where they are. I like your fire, but I can't see anything with it. Three plus 4 plus 1. Oh my.
The 16th Corps here is German. I think they would still hold this because they had moved down through here. Remember, they drove off the French from here.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Let's do that. Okay. We're not going to get all the way to Dunkirk, but that's all right. All right.
Seems like that they have a very different strategy than the Germans did in real life.
Yeah.
Right, screenshots.
Yep. May 15th. I've done 5 turns. Hopefully they're having fun. All right, gentlemen. Let's see. What do we know? So, good news. You may reestablish contact with both 4th Corps and 7th Corps of the 1st Army.
Oh, nice.
They report that panzer units had cut off their communication lines to the west, but their 1st Army is now near Enghien, to the southwest of Brussels, but in pretty bad shape. 1st Army's in better shape near Chievray, but they say there's a German corps to their east, not far, that's in pursuit. Your own armored corps here with you are unengaged still. 11th Corps is recovering. 9th Army continued to fall back, but being heavily pressed, and they say they're at risk of being cut off from the south by new German units arriving from that direction. 2nd Army says they're unengaged, falling back west, but don't have really good roads, so the movement's slow.
Any pursuit on 2nd Army?
No, not that they. No.
Okay. Just a question. Can they take the train?
No. Corps are pretty huge. It'd take a while to move that many troops.
Yeah, I know. They're like 2 divisions, 3, sometimes 3 divisions. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, do you want to go first, Gamlin, or should I go first?
We're going to do this. 2nd Army is to halt their retreat, begin either digging. 2nd Army, we're just going to start sending them. They're going to turn around, begin counterattacks if they're not being directly pursued. The Armored Reserve, I want them to move direct northeast and begin engaging 3rd Corps to the east of Le Beauvais. The CAS support is to move in support of 2nd Army's counterattack.
The who?
Okay. Okay. So, is it possible to have a 10th Corps attack at Irsun so they could like give time for Ninth Army to back it up a bit more because they're about to be cut off?
10th Corps. Where's 10th Corps?
And sorry, 10th Corps or 7th Corps? What?
11th Corps.
I didn't hear properly. So you sending 11th Corps to do something?
No, I'm sending the armored reserves to counterattack.
Oh, okay.
And
Can I
Second
send-
Army is to begin attacking.
Yeah. I would like 10th Corps to attack towards Irsun, and 18th Corps to move up north behind 10th Corps. Basically, just move up north.
Okay.
I'm gonna move the Cavalry Corps to try to help the retreat of 9th Army, and 11th Corps is gonna stick here on Maubeuge and keep resting and manning the defenses. 7th Corps and 4th Corps that are at Ingyen, God D, is gonna start. I think can I keep moving them west towards Luz or Lutz?
Yep.
Yep. Just keep following the main road towards Lutz, and I think that's everything. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
General Gerard. Okay. So, 7th Army has established themselves in St. Nicholas. No activity there. The 1st and 16th Corps have moved southeast and are assisting with the defense of Brussels, engaging 2 Panzer Corps on the western side of the city. That front's grown with your support. You've halted the German advance and heavy fighting in and around the city. I think that's it for you.
All right, we're gonna march the rest of the troops down there. I don't know if they're ever gonna get there on foot, I assume, but headed towards Alost to back up the defense and be a reserve.
Anything else?
I mean, I'll go to Alost myself with them to get a better view of the fight near Brussels.
All right, King Leopold. The German armored division or corps has retreated, but is replaced by their 3 infantry corps, which have moved south to occupy Antwerp and the surrounding area. Heavy fighting in and around the city, but the Germans are holding positions. Your attacks are have further issues when you're have a surprise attack from the southeast from the German 11th Corps, so attacking your 3rd Corps. Puts you in a difficult position as you're now getting squeezed on both sides. Your casualties are starting to mount among your men, and the French 7th Army is nowhere around to support you anymore. You're kind of on your own against the elite German SS corps. That's about it. What are your orders?
I will withdraw the cavalry corps southward and have the 3rd Corps contend with the 11th. The 2nd Corps against the 26th and have the 1st pin the 10th in their position.
Got it. Thank you. All right, Lord Gort. Mixed news. So 2nd Corps has fallen back. They've at least established a connection and contact with the rest of the army. Although they've taken heavy casualties and are in rough shape. You've lost contact. I take that back. Third Corps reports that they've been surrounded. They're getting attacked from both east and west and cannot get back to the rest of the army. The French 7th Army arrives from the northwest. Their motorized divisions come, and with their arrivals enough to slow the German advance. So you got 3 Panzer Corps fighting heavily in and around the city, but you're managing to hold your position, at least for now. But casualties are starting to mount, and 3rd and 2nd Corps in really rough shape. It seems all of the German Luftwaffe are concentrated against you. There's heavy bombings all over, everywhere.
Yeah, that's the vibe I was getting looking at the situation.
Yep.
Lots and lots of enemy planes. Yeah, I guess for now, just try and get everyone to hold. 2nd Corps, if needed, we'll fall back to the railhead on the north side of 1st Corps. Just form a line against the river there.
Okay.
Other than that, everyone just try and hold.
All right, got it. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
South of Beaumont.
Chimay, where's that?
It's so south of Charleroi, south of Beaumont is Chimay.
Right here.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
Yeah,
Okay.
west of Chimay, I want them to bomb that road to prevent the French from retreating west.
Okay.
I would like to send an air group to Antwerp to just provide air superiority.
Mhm.
And then I would like to send an air group to Courtrai, which is pretty far to the west of Brussels, like southwest of Ghent,
Mhm.
to bomb the road network there.
All right.
That sounds about good to me.
All right. With the major trains taken out, nothing will stop the love for the German people to grow in these cities.
Exactly.
All right. I'll see you next turn. Thank you.
Thank you.
What would bombing the trains that are due?
If we were doing logistics, it would really hamper logistics. But I'll mention that basically rail lines are down and they're having trouble getting supplies.
All right. See, kind of some odd orders here. He wanted to send the Panzers west to try and wrap around the line here and hit them on the flank. And he forgot that he sent the 4th Army up here, so now they're completely alone in Brussels. See, I don't. Is that even allowed to just like shift to west along the front line?
Yeah, I mean, trying to extend. They got the units; they can extend the flank. I'll
Also,
figure it out in the rules.
over here, you moved the tank before I moved the infantry here. Were they trying to like seek out the 3rd Corps here to attack them?
Yeah, they would engage them. They're engaging and
Okay.
probably pinning them down pretty good.
Okay.
So I don't think they'd be able to move so much.
Makes sense. And how are you going to resolve the air combat there?
I'm just gonna let them both neutralize each other. So
Okay.
neither is providing bonuses. They're just counteracting each other basically.
What would the armor here do after they drove off, like a complete route the third corps? Would they keep pursuing them?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Down here is gonna be the most annoying combat. Is the tanks that got sent down here, were they just like relieving, like keeping this line open to retreat through, or were they attacking any flanking
They
forces?
are assisting in the retreat, so I mean that group was trying to get on the rear, so I imagine they'd counterattack and keep the rear open for for the retreat. Changing how I'm doing my rules mid-game.
Wait, the roads here were bombed though. Would that impact the retreat at all?
Yeah, they should be super slowed, so I'll let the French know. Oops, that was a 9.
What's the blue die for?
Oh, I'm I'm changing how I'm doing it. So rather than just rolling for the defender, I'm rolling for both sides. Kind of like my more to my normal black powder rules.
I'll start doing that next turn for the fighting in the south.
Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Because I didn't like it was one-sided because it gives the attacker a huge advantage. I just got captured. Yeah, I like how it works better that way. I gotta tweak my rules hugely when after this game. That's all right.
Yeah.
Right. Are you done?
Well, so maybe if you're using two dice like this, right? You have the system more be like, okay, they both deal damage to each other, but like the actual like victor of the battle, who gets pushed back or do they not get pushed back, is whoever rolls higher, right?
Exactly.
So like you can have very little damage done at all to either side, but a very orderly withdrawal of the retreating forces if they're forced to push back. Or you could have like the defenders do just like massive damage to the enemy side, but the enemy side also does massive damage to the defending side, and they have to retreat, and so on.
Exactly. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm good.
All right, screenshots it is.
May 16th. A little bit less than 20 minutes. All right, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
News from the armored reserves is good. They've smashed into the German 3rd Corps, 12th Army, and dealt a heavy blow, pushing them back multiple miles, kind of going along, straddling along the Sambre. Um, the For Blanchard, the 7th and 4th Corps report that they are heading west to Toulouse, with the German 2nd Corps in pursuit, but they're able to stay at least a couple miles ahead of them. Your 2nd Army Cavalry Corps or 1st Army Cavalry Corps go to assist the escape of 9th Army in the woods, and it's badly needed. They are able to assist, but the Germans are bombing the roads, and there's not that many to start with, and so they're having trouble just getting out of there and getting heavily pressed. 41st Corps is in very rough shape. 2nd Army is back on the offensive, moving northeast, but hasn't run into anyone to engage yet. And that's it.
Okay. So, I think Blanchard had to step away for a second, so I'll take over orders for a second. 2nd Army is to continue on the offensive. The Armored Corps.
I'm back. I'm back. I was just muted.
Okay. So 2nd Corps is definitely going to stay on the offensive down in the south. The Armored Reserve, if they can begin moving through Charleroi, move north to put some stress, move through Charleroi, take the road north near Nivelles. That would be great. The air power is to shift to support the armored reserve. No, actually, keep the air power around 2nd Army for right now. Those are the
Could you
orders.
keep it around 9th Army, actually?
I don't know what good they're going to do unless they're purely intercepting. Yeah.
Purely intercepting to stop the bombing of the roads.
Yeah,
there are,
let's go ahead and do that.
yeah, that's what I'd like. For me, what I'm gonna be doing, hold on, I'm just gonna keep an eye on the image. We're gonna keep 10th Corps to try to. Oh man, they're having such a bad time. They're in the bad roads, like they have barely moved. Try to get to La Chapelle. To the best of their ability. Cavalry Corps, both Cavalry Corps are gonna. Okay, both Cavalry Corps are gonna do their best to hold the line for 41st to escape from whatever the Germans have in store for them. 2nd Corps is to head up to 11th Corps' position, back to us. And 7th and 4th Corps. Okay, so 4th Corps back in the north, way up north with 1st Army. 4th Corps is gonna try to hold the line for 7th Corps from the Belgians to get Toulouse and rest and get some defensive positions there. Am I missing anybody here? Cavalry. That's the cavalry. 41st is also retreating. 2nd Corps is retreating towards 11th, and 2nd Army is doing a counterattack towards the north to relieve a bit of the pressure from 9th Army. Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, General Charal. Generally, not great news from your motorized corps. They're facing 3 Panzer Corps, heavy armor, very much outgunned, and the Panzers are moving on their west flank, trying to get around them. Your direct reports are marching to support them, but on foot over not great roads. They're going as fast as they can. not there yet. But your 2 corps in the south are taking heavy casualties and at risk of not withstanding. I think you just got the 3 corps, right?
Sorry, what was your last comment?
You only have 3 corps, right? According to you.
3 core, yeah, that's correct.
Yep. What are your orders?
I've got orders to try to follow. Is it clear whether the Panzer Corps are directly attacking me, or do they seem to be trying to bypass my position?
Trying to bypass.
Okay. I want my mechanized corps to withdraw to Ostend via Termond,
Austin.
and the
Where's
infantry will try to cover their retreat
Where's Austin?
near Termond.
I don't see Austin.
Ostend is northwest, so we've been ordered to form a new line of defense near Dunkirk, so I'm trying to find a way to maneuver my troops towards the ports.
Oh, I see Austin.
Ostend is the large port northeast of Dunkirk.
Okay. And what are your direct reports doing? Sorry.
I mean, they can fall back and cover the screen. They can basically screen for the mechanized troops moving through Termond.
All right, thank you. All right, King Leopold. Your army continues to get squozen from attacks in the south. The enemy, the Germans, are holding in Antwerp itself. Second Corps is doing all right, but they're at risk of being cut off as First Corps and Third Corps are being forced back to the west. Your cavalry, your armored corps has moved south and is currently resting and not engaged. What are your orders?
I will immediately order the cavalry back north to hit the 11th, outflank them from the rear, and have the First Corps pin the 11th in place back off the 10th. I'll have the Second Corps continue contending with the 26th and retreat the Third Corps west.
Okay, got it. All right, Lord Gort. Your last communication from Third Corps is that they've been surrounded and unable to escape and forced to surrender. If there is good news, your direct reporting divisions are holding Brussels and are actually recovering a portion of it, as most of the German corps have abandoned their attacks in Brussels except for a single corps. It seems the armored Panzer Corps moving further west, probably trying to get around on the flank. To your northeast, First Corps is mostly holding, but Second Corps is breaking. Basically, no longer combat effective. And yep, that's about it.
Okay. And I'm guessing the German 43rd Corps, like they could just cross that river easily.
Look at your screenshot.
Like they wouldn't have to go through Brussels.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, based on those orders, after we just fought to hold it, Second Corps, if they still can, just general like ordered as much as possible retreat towards where 7th Army's HQ is.
Okay.
First and direct reporting will fall back. If they stay, they'll fall back to even with 16th Corps. If the 16th Corps moves away, they will continue falling back towards Ghent. So basically, I'll have them fall back as well to where Giraud is,
Okay.
and I will move there as well.
Got it. Thank you. All right. So they're abandoning Brussels. So these, I assume the Germans here would keep pursuing.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm just gonna pursue occupy.
Also, what was the British air mission down here? Close air support?
This mission was, yeah, air support trying to take out the German air mission, I guess. Help defense.
Wait, air support or air superiority?
Superiority, but the Germans aren't there anymore, so
So just give them the close air support?
yeah.
Okay. By the way, the 41st Corps of the 9th Army here, that's completely destroyed.
Okay.
Like it went over the limit.
Yeah, well, can they retreat or are they just obliterated?
Yeah, that they retreated. I just let you know that like they're not able to fight right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's over here. Are these guys completely encircled, the two tanks?
They were told to hold and buy time, so I mean they're.
And yeah, the 16th Army here just like pushed back and destroyed the guys holding back the crossroads here for them to escape the roads.
I don't think the tanks would be cut off. I think they'd be, I mean, pushed back pretty bad.
Mhm.
Do something more like that.
And then yeah, these guys would move up. Right.
Time to redraw the lines.
How those guys not dead yet? Over here.
What's that?
These guys, how are they not dead yet?
They're dead. They're surrounded, captured.
You might want to think because like if these guys are dead, these guys we keep moving up over here. Can I take them off the board?
Yeah, you can take them off the board. screenshots. May 17th. I got time for like one more turn.
Let's hope it's a good one.
Yeah. Well, we'll leave it up to interpretation at the end. See what players say.
Oh, there.
Yep,
That's
time.
our players.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hey,
All right. So, the armored reserves are unable to disengage from the German fight and are also getting heavily bombarded by German fighters. So they're continuing to fight around to the east there in your screenshot. Fourth Corps is holding behind a small stream, allowing 7th Corps in the north to get to Luz. And they're battling a German corps up there. To the south, the armored divisions or corps are getting heavily outnumbered, getting pushed northwest. While 41st and 2nd Corps are able to make their escape, but are in really bad shape. The 2nd Army 10th Corps reports that they have made contact with a German corps near north of Abenton.
that's what Alberton.
The 18th Corps is not engaged yet. Yeah, your armored corps are taking heavy casualties, are in rough shape.
That's that's part of the job. Mr. Gamlin, I need more cap.
We don't have any to. I mean, we're gonna keep the cap, trying to just do pure intercepts here, but oh, jeez, oh man. Okay, well,
All right. So I'm gonna go first if you don't mind.
go right ahead.
All right. First of all, we're gonna start from bottom top. Bottom 18th Corps. 18th Corps. I need them to go reinforce 10th Corps. What's gonna happen is that I would like 10th Corps to make it to. Where are they right now? To Irsen, and then move down to Verdun, which is southwest of Irsen. If they can manage that, that would be great. That's what I want the Second Army to do as a whole, except for the Cavalry Corps because they're now kind of part with First Army and Ninth Army. 31st Corps, who have managed to cross the Somme, they will go. I mean, they're kind of like super retreating down, but I guess they don't mind if we just give them more retreat. Go to Valenciennes.
Okay.
It's like northwest of their current position. It's 9th Army, 31st Corps. They should go to Valenciennes and try to regroup there.
Okay.
Second Corps. Where was Second Corps before? They were here. They will go to Maubeuge, where 11th Corps is. And the Cavalry Corps needs to attempt to also get to Maubeuge, crossing the Somme. 11th Corps will attempt to cover that retreat. Next, we go further up. We are up at the 4th Corps and the 7th Corps. I don't. Is 7th Corps hasn't been able to rest any, so
Just got to lose.
Yeah, they just got to lose. So we are going to have them rest. They can't rest and set up positions, right?
Correct.
All right. So they're going to rest, and 4th Corps is going to keep holding the river line against the 2nd Corps. If the 2nd Corps of the enemy, that means the 4th Army, 2nd Corps, stops attempting to attack the river, they're going to move down to Péruwelz, kind of at the border between Valenciennes and Luz.
Okay.
I think that's it for me. And I hope for Mad Cap, Mr. Gamlin.
Gambling.
Okay, so the armor is going to continue fighting where it's at. Blanker, did you give orders to the 11th?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Second, just continue its assault. Do we have any intelligence at all of the area around Lille or Roubaix?
Where are those?
Lille. They're west. This is the big city, like southeast of Dunkirk.
Oh, your rail lines at Courtrai or Wevelgem have been struck, but Lily is no news there. It seems like they're fine.
It's just been bombed, or has it been ran over?
Bombed.
Okay.
Your rail lines have been bombed, making it.
Also, I would like to reset up my HQ at Valenciennes.
Okay.
And I'm going to move my HQ to I'm going to move my HQ to Valenciennes as well. But other than that, no other orders for this turn.
All right. Thank you. All right, General Sherrod, your motorized corps make a hasty withdrawal and get as far as Ghent with the German Panzer Corps in pursuit. Those corps taking a lot of casualties. They're in rough shape, but they are making a defense at Ghent. The direct reports have withdrawn back to Termonde and to cover that retreat, and aren't really that engaged. And I think that's it.
Okie doke. I would like the direct reports in 16th Corps keep making their way back to the port of Ostend while the 1st Corps continues to resist the Panzer Corps and screen their withdrawal.
All right. You got it. All right, King Leopold. Second Corps continues to do very well. They're holding their salient east of Antwerp. First Corps and Third Corps in rough shape, falling back. Cavalry Corps counter to charge and are beating up the German 11th Corps of 6th Army. But again, your Second Corps is at risk of being cut off, and that's about it.
Awesome. Keep the cavalry. Going to wipe out the 11th, and then immediately put pressure on the 10th if able, and have the Second Corps continue against the 26th and put pressure on the 10th if able. Basically, finish up their fights and then take Antwerp.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, Lord Gort. So your army's making its withdrawal out of Brussels. The Germans are in heavy pursuit, trying to get around you, cut you off, and heavily outnumbered. Rough position to be in.
Yeah.
It seems. Oh, sorry, I should have mentioned the French have abandoned you. They went northwest somewhere. I don't know if they told you. And then the Belgians are somewhere fighting up north, but you're on your own.
Yep. So I'm gonna order the 9th Corps, or I'm sorry, the 2nd Corps to attempt and just basically make a last-ditch holding action against the German left, and the 1st Corps and the direct reporting are to try and fall back to Termond and hold that village, or hold there if possible.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Termond. Yeah, it's Termond.
Hold on. Yep.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'll move myself up to Lokeren, north of Tremont.
Alright, let's do combat, then we'll pull everyone to the lobby.
Things are so messy in the south. I think that honestly, both of these front lines would just like collapse because both sides are completely exhausted.
Yeah.
Except like here, the French have a very good chance of retaking Charlot because even when he had a chance of like an entire fresh corps at Gimlo, he just sent an entire like fresh army. He sent them northwest instead of southwest to save Charlot for some reason.
Alright, Jerry, do all your combat?
Yeah.
Alright, let's draw lines and then bring people in. Let's see.
Oh no, that's French right here.
Oh.
Oh no, sorry, that is German. Never mind. Forget that. The colors are so similar that I just remember that they had like started a counterattack here.
Needed to do more coloring. Let's see.
This one is French, right there.
So they're holding here along the Somme.
Honestly, I'll push the line further back because like France is up to here
Oh yeah.
You know. with a straight attack.
Let's see that the armored reserve's doing its job. Oh, I should have. Because here. There you go. They've pushed all the way. Alright. Interesting.
Right now we bring everyone up.
Bring them in to the lobby. Oh, I think I have to do it.
Yeah, because I don't. I still can't drag.
And that's wraps.
Yep. GG.
We did our best, but I'm pretty sure there's like a huge gap. We'll see what happens. Let's see. See that string. Let's see them aliens.
Alright, welcome everyone. Thank you. So first of all, let's do the standard thing, CICs. Let's see how you think you're doing. So on the Allied side, Gamlin, how do you think you're faring?
Not too well. I don't know if you can share it or not, but I put a screenshot of what my assumed image is of the front line. Think we have some pretty substantial gaps forming in our line around Formez, close to Luz or Rabaul, those major cities, and then Belgium right now is just a mess. I've been trying to get my people out of Belgium, but it seems like they're just trying to hold and fight right now. So I think that we've got a nice. I think the Germans have a very nice opportunity to outflank the remainder of the French forces and drive to the coast and possibly cut off and even prevent the evacuation at Dunkirk.
Yeah. You can share an after party if you want. All right, and then on the German side, the overall commander is Brach each or something like that. How do you think you're doing?
Yeah,
Prestige?
I think things are going well. We tried to do a tighter encirclement of just the northern Allied forces this time around, and I think we've mostly achieved that. And at the very least, we're at the point where I think we can't be stopped when we break off to go to Dunkirk. So I'm pretty optimistic, but it's been an interesting game.
Thank you. All right, let me share my screen, show the current state of affairs. So let me first give some caveats. I needed one or two more umpires. This game went a lot slower than normal. XDX did a fabulous job, but we just had too many player to umpire ratio. We had 20-minute turns, which was unfortunate. Because it would have been fun to get a little bit further. Also, these rules are what I would call more experimental than normal. So this is like the third or fourth playtest of them. And they're still pretty new. I was still making changes mid-game. So if things didn't happen like you thought they should, we can all blame the rules because they're still being worked on. That being said, XDX did a good job. He had good advice, and I think it felt like it was realistic. I mean, in 7 days, this is how far we got. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts on how you thought about maybe the impact of things and if it made sense based on what you saw, and if you enjoyed it overall. Even though the rules were new and need tweaks, I was overall happy. I liked the scale of this and the scope of it. Um, I think this kind of map and unit size is actually perfect. So if I can dial in the rules, I think there can be a lot of fun had with it. And I did like that element, like day turns at this scale. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that. But let's talk about the battle. So we had a I went off of Wikipedia map pictures to try and do a historical deployment. Everything's at Army and Corps level, but as it was historically, the Germans were well positioned for a strong push unexpectedly through the Ardennes forest. They had most of their Panzer Corps there. The French were simultaneously very weak in that region and more stronger in the north. But we had the strong push there. We also had a push in the center, um, and then and actually the British initially were quite aggressive, pushing to take position there, and then similarly for the Belgians, they were quite aggressive, and even at the end have a bit of a salient. Um, But the Germans obviously had the advantage in numbers and strength and armored divisions, so it's tough for the Allies. It's kind of like a Kobayashi Maru. It's how badly can you not lose is kind of this game. So I think the Allies did fairly well. I'll have to look at your planning channel, see how your communication was, because I wasn't looking at that. But as we get here on the seventh day, the
Oh wow.
poor Blanchard, he was commanding three armies that were very thinly spread out in the south, and just getting overrun everywhere. His armored corps are at risk of being overrun here, although the Germans are petering out. So I think, and XDX was saying this, I think the Germans have made a good push, but they're going to have to regroup and rest, and so it's kind of going to slow down here in the south, with both sides just getting absolutely worn out. The armored reserves here in the end are doing, God's work. They're pushing back all the way to Charleroi and really threatening the German position. So they're doing good work. We got units recovering. So I think in the south that actually attack's going to slow down, and I guess long term we'd have to see, but that's where it's at now. In the north, it's a bit of a different story. So the SS 18th Army pushed in aggressively against Giraud, was beating him up, and then the Belgians came and attacked his south and did quite well, pushing all the way into Antwerp in their rear. Then there's heavy fighting in Antwerp basically the rest of the game. And so then Giraud was able to pivot and help out the British around Brussels. The British, as I mentioned, were aggressive to start, pushed past the German lines without much resistance, but then a two armies converged on them and then pushed them back. There's heavy fighting in Brussels. The French helped, and then the French left, and the British had one corps just get surrounded and trapped. I think the French in the south had two corps get surrounded and trapped, completely captured. But now the British are on the run, just trying to get northwest to escape. But you got three Panzer Corps pushing. They've just captured Ghent, and they're pushing to the sea. And so the Belgians and the British, I guess there's not French up here anymore, they're all risk it being cut off and just completely surrounded. So it actually in the north may be much worse than Dunkirk, because I don't think they'd get to Ostend and escape. Maybe they could get around, but I guess we can leave that up to debate. But that's where we end it. Up to interpretation. Curious to hear your thoughts on where things will go, but let's hear from first XCX and then the players.
So we kind of had an uneven split because there were 5 players on the Allied side, 3 players on the German side, including the CICs. I felt a bit bad for the Germans because one guy basically just had a couple armies up around here, and then one guy had the entire rest of the army to try and micromanage. There was only one or two like things I would have done differently than the Germans. So here there was a army that you see here, the second army, that when the push was happening here to Charleroi, instead of moving them down to help reinforce and stop their right now where their HQ is actually from being captured, they sent it up towards a front that, in my opinion, was already completely won. Like there's nothing that these guys are going to do to change the situation up here, when they absolutely could change the situation down here. And up here, there was a very good opportunity, I think, where a German tank that had been sent south over here, the 16th Corps, had moved from over here to there, when I think it would have been much better if they had been able to communicate with the other player and met up something like this and actually encircled the British here. But yeah, that's like again, that's kind of small fry. They did very well. I just wanted to mention that in case they wanted advice on play styles, because I know I always got advice when I play. That's something I'm always interested in, is hearing from the umpires on what I could have done better. Other than that, it was done very well. The battle in Charleroi was very devastating for the French side. I feel, and they never really recovered from this huge gap that was exploited by the tanks. I don't think either side was ready for how far the tanks could move once they made a breakthrough, because it was in a single turn they had basically gotten to Brussels after Charleroi.
Yeah, tanks may have been too fast. But... Yep. All right, thank you, XTX. All right, we'll just go down the list with all the players. So Fedor von Bock, the German.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you to the umpires. I totally agree with you, XDC. I was actually about to send that Panzer unit west, basically where you were saying, but I would have probably been a turn too late anyway. So I actually fully agree with that decision. That was a minor mistake on my part. I had the bloodbath in the north, the back and forth with the 7th Army and the Belgians, who put up one hell of a fight. And then I also had the center, where I duel with the BEF a lot. I thought it was a pretty realistic in terms of like the pace of combats and units being pushed back. Maybe one thing I would note is maybe increasing the speed of which units recover by 2 if they're not in combat. But of course, that's kind of a hard thing to play with. Otherwise, I thought it was pretty realistic, considering that our axis of advance was more in the north than the south. It makes sense that there were more casualties in the British and Belgians.
Thank you. Sorry, I was taking notes from your advice. All right, General Oberst Brakic.
Yeah, so I was Walter von Brockic, the commander in chief for this battle. Our plan was semi-historical. We wanted to like basically punch through at Charleroi and like the center north, so like the north end of the Ardennes. Everything else was a distraction. We wanted to break through at Charleroi, and rather than go for the coast, we wanted to try for a encirclement of the northern armies around Brussels. So basically, the goal for it was breakthrough at Charleroi, and then both army commanders had basically the orders to keep the enemy in your sights and continue to roll them up. So we were trying for like very tight encirclements, and then at some point in the game, we would break for Ostend or Dunkirk whenever the time permitted, which I think would have been soon. I do think that the French armored reserves being so close to Charleroi is pretty funny. I'm dedicating a lot of our Air Force right now to kind of contain that and handing out some rifles to my command staff because that's where I am. I'm a Luger ready, but it was a fun battle. I enjoyed it. The I knew very little other than what people were telling me over the radio that battle. Like seeing those tanks where it was my first like actual eyes on intel the entire battle. I definitely think that it would have been a little better if we had more players, just because I felt like I was like demanding a lot of intel from 2 guys who are very overworked, commanding entire army groups. So but otherwise, I thought it was run great. The if there had been more umpires, I think it would have went at a really good clip, and I still don't think it went at like a terrible clip. But I also think that the time waiting was helped a lot by being able to just talk on the radio with people. So it wasn't. I didn't feel like I was just sitting doing nothing the entire time. But I think we more or less achieved our goals here. We have them encircled, surrendered, or about to be in the north, and we're just fighting them to a standstill everywhere else. So, congratulations to von Bach and von Rundstedt for a job well done. And yeah, umpires did great.
Thanks. Von Rudenstedt.
Yeah, I played Gerd von Rundstedt during this. I had a lot of forces to control. Ross touched on like a lot of points that kind of echo my thoughts on this. Yeah, James also talked about like the rule set and everything. I really liked it. I enjoyed it for the most part. I was a little thrown by like the counters aren't what I saw in the other games, so they weren't much higher, so I had to account for that. And then at one point there was like a moment where XTX was like, "Yeah, your tanks can move like 5 times the amount that your infantry can." Because I was like giving like, "Oh yeah, just move over to the next town or whatever," because that's kind of what I expecting. And then he told me that, and like my jaw literally dropped. I was like, "Wait, what? Okay, order them here, here, and here." And then I started once I kind of learned that around Charleroi, I just started moving towards Brussels and just like rapping and doing way more dramatic maneuvers. And you see that those tanks went all the way from like where that 1673 marker is at the bottom right, like around that area, like they're all the way up again now. That's crazy, but that's really cool too. It was neat. The air support was really interesting, and the way I was like calling for my HQ to strike at like the bulges that I had kind of bottled up and everything was really fun. And the radio was cool too. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. In general, our plan was kind of just to. My plan was, or my part of the plan was to move through Charleroi and then actually move towards like Mons and Lille, which is that like large settlement to the west, kind of there, southeast of Dunkirk. And to try to kind of move towards that area, but the intel that I was getting from Bach and everything was just like, yeah, like he's engaged. They're actually pushing it back some. So I just made like a call. I was like, I need to wrap like a lot tighter than what the plan was originally. I need to get like at the rear. I need these units engaged. Like, yeah, it would be good and like maneuver like strategically useful to like control these crossroads like really far to the west and or when like they eventually pushed back, but my units would not have been like thrown in, and eventually I would just be waiting for Bach to get tired or to tire out the French. So that was an interesting call to make, especially because like the intel and what we could see, especially with my panzers, like as they were engaging, I was just like pushing them into the fog of war, and I could not really see what they were engaging except when they got engaged, and they moved really fast, which is really interesting. I know that's a lot, but yeah, it was really neat. It was really cool. That was a lot of fun. The only thing I can really complain about, if anything, was that like there's a little bit of false advertising. I thought this was it was like the Battle of Dunkirk, and I had in my head we were gonna like fight in the streets to the beaches and stuff like that. And it's like the entire Battle of France, which kind of threw me. But this was really cool, so it was a pleasant surprise. Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna do Dunkirk, and then as I started researching it, it just seemed boring to me.
I mean, this was awesome. So I mean, I think you made the right choice ultimately. Although I'd like to see Dunkirk too. Maybe that'll be just as interesting. Who knows?
All right, General Blanchard.
All right. So I was Blanchard. I was in charge of 3 entire armies, starting from the south all the way up to like Charleroi, north of that. And I mean, at the start, I had a good time. It was pretty okay. I thought we could probably like do something around when there was an attack at Charleroi, and then like eventually, I was thinking we should probably not go back into Charleroi because that just gets you encircled. And then I didn't get to do my turn. And then everything started falling off from then on. Couldn't really get an effective defense going because 2 of my corps got encircled in Charleroi. I didn't exactly tell them to go inside at that point, but that's what they did, and then they were gone. And uh, uh, then it was just all around bad after that. We just kept falling somewhat backwards, somewhat forward sometimes. I tried to muster a counterattack near Maubeuge at some time, but it didn't really pan out because there was like an attack going through the Ardennes, and then like my ninth army was getting encircled. Well, not encircled, but they were trying to get overrun. They managed to sort of make it at the end, but at the end it didn't matter since the tanks had made it all the way to Ghent, the German Panzers. But honestly, I mean, the game was okay. Uh, if I I'm not sure what kind of feedback I could give. That's all I have to say, really.
Sure. No worries. All right. General Girard. Jennifer.
Yep. So I had a mixed motorized infantry force holding just pretty much the northern flank of the Allied defense. Not too much to say. It was tough right from the get go. The Germans did a nice job making strong pinning attacks pretty much all across the front, so it kind of prevented any kind of discussions that I had had with the rest of the team earlier on potentially trying to use the motorized as a fast moving reinforcement to like create a reserve for the rest of the army. But we were under such heavy attack from early on. We were pretty bogged down. So really well done with the Germans, keeping troops tied down, finding the weaknesses, and pushing through. So well played. Enjoy the game. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, General Gamelin.
So I was mostly with the French Armored Reserves most of the game. My initial plan with our team was to defend for like a day or two to determine the German axis of advance and then counterattack more or less where they weren't. Seemed like it was going pretty good. We had that small attack up in northern Belgium, so that was what I thought would be a good cue for the British to start jumping off and throw off the German plans. But then it just seemed to quickly divert into chaos after that. And next thing I know, I'm hearing of breaks through of Antwerp, a possible encirclement around Antwerp, then further south. So it kind of worked out to the Germans' advantage that they split up a little bit because we couldn't pin down what their main axis of advance was to counterattack. Um, I would say that probably, I think what was a little bit of a hindrance to the game was it seemed like no matter what we tried to do with close air support, it was. Now I know the Germans were pretty strong with it, but I think maybe for a future scenario, the Allies should at least have two. One that's purely under the British Expeditionary Force Command, and one that's under the overall command. Um, I think that would help out a little bit because I was, only having air support in one place when it felt like the Germans were constantly, no matter what we did, all over our lines, were bombing everything. That seemed to be a deciding factor in some of this.
Yeah, they had
But
3 air groups to your one, which it can be argued what that ratio should have been, but yeah, absolutely.
yep. But the combat itself, I mean, I was pretty surprised at what my armored reserves were able to do once they got into combat. So I'm very surprised at that. And it seemed like that even though I think we were a little bit late to the game with our counterattack with the armored reserve. It seemed like they definitely did do something, but I don't know how well we're going to be able to follow through on that attack. And also with the German air superiority, we're definitely going to be hampered in making any major gains with that. Um, I was telling my guys a couple times in the planning channel to get out of Belgium to try and retreat. And in the planning channel, you could see a couple fallback lines that I pre-planned, but none of that ever came to. I mean, the map looks pretty similar to what I thought was going on, except for in the north. I thought the Germans had advanced beyond Antwerp, and that's where they were coming down on the Allies, versus from the south. So,
All right. Last but not least, King Leopold III.
10 out of 10 would defend my country again. Definitely dealt out more damage than I was dealt. After I was able to free up the French and they went to support the British in Brussels, and I was dealing with the army group on my own. I just saw blood. I had to secure Antwerp. And then another corps came out of nowhere, and I was basically outflanked, so I couldn't withdraw even if I wanted to, safely anyway. But I did give my CIC the opportunity. I was like, do I send the armor south and lose my army, or stay here and salvage the situation? He said salvage it, and I most definitely did. I almost had the city in my hands. I was beating them off, and it was definitely a bloody fight up there in my position.
Yep. All right. Well, I appreciate everyone playing. This was a bit more experimental, but and probably the roughest on Blanchard, but appreciate everyone playing. It was fun, and we'll see you next week. Will be a bit more uh, regular, historical, comfortable, at least for me. We'll be doing Catalonian Plains combat, Ancients combat. So until then, good night. And thanks for watching if anyone watched to this point.
Thanks for the game.